Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Oh, my goodness. Do we got a good night for you? Lots of stuff going on. I got a new book to share with you, and I am really, truly live tonight. Yes, I don't have to work tomorrow, so got this new book. It's called The Moon and the Sun and the Medicine of the Sun and the Moon. And I couldn't wait 1 minute without sharing it with all of you. Yes, excellent is right. Can't believe I'm doing a live show. Plus, I got my shirt on that commemorates 'tis the season. I love that part too. Tonight, we're going to get right into it. Thank you for all the lovely people who've come to watch me, the chatters in the chat room, Lucky Stone, Max G, and whoever else is joining me tonight. I'm going to just get right on to it, as always, because I am good. We got frozen temperatures out there. It's all across the country. I hope you're all doing well tonight. Staying warm. I got my little heater going, plus the house heater going. So my house is warm. My water is frozen. My beard is scruffy. You gotta love it. Christmas is right around the corner. And right now we're going through the 3 days of darkness. Yes, the winter solstice is upon us, and we're right in the middle of it. One more day to go, and then we can celebrate. And that's what 'tis the season is all about. If you haven't heard, all that other stuff is kind of a fairy tale. The real stuff is in the moon and the sun and the moon right there. And yes, 50 tomorrow. Life is weird. Southern. Yes, everybody is freezing across the country. Right here today in the good old North Dakota, we had a high temperature of what was it? Oh gosh, I think it got up to 15 below. How's that? And when I got up this morning, it was 23 or 24 below, and the wind has been blowing all day. It's coldest I've ever seen it here. I tell you, you go outside and you're not covered up, you're losing some skin or some fingers or something like that. It is very cold, and it's headed all over the place. So just be careful. Stay warm. Do whatever you got to do to keep warm. As you can see, I have several layers on. Look at that. I got three layers on, and I'm in the house. But that's us good old North people living up here in Northern land. We are full of fun and excitement, as of usual. Exactly. So here we go. But anyhow, let's see. That's right. Wow. Anyway, see, when I'm live, I can put these things up, and I'm in it for the minute. So thank you for coming. There you go. 32 degrees there. I'll trade you. 32 is nothing. But anyway, so I'm glad you all could make it. Let's see. You are so lucky. Lucky is lucky. It'll be 52 on Friday and 15 at night. Oh, yes. Those are good times. Anyway, let's get right on to business. Tonight we're going to be talking about the medicine of the sun and the moon. And of course, as always, I got some good clips to share with you somewhere along the lines here. And I will find it in just a second because I am that good. Oh, doing a live stream. Yes, I am doing a live stream. Look at me. I am right on top of the things. Thank you, Amber, for coming. Thank you, Elderberry, Esley. Wow, that is nice to see you all. And I'm wonderful solstice to everyone, because during the solstice season, you know we're losing the sun for most of the day. It makes us feel tired, and we don't get the vitamins we need, like vitamin D, which we get from the sun. And so if you want to be, if you're not feeling it, make sure you take some vitamin D. Of course, this is not a doctor's program, so anything I say here, check it out with your doctor. I am not a doctor. I am just a fictional make-believe one on TV. You get that? Don't believe nothing I say or do. It's all, But anyway, make sure you think about some vitamin D if you're not getting enough sun. Of course, the moon and the sun have their. It's like you got, Father Moon and Mother Sun, and or maybe it's Father Sun and Mother Moon. I don't know. Either way. But tonight we are going to learn a little bit about Chinese medicine. And I couldn't believe this book when I seen it. Believe it or not, try to get this book. It is expensive. And it's thin. Look, it's really thin. It's just a little hand-me-down paperback. But of course, I could not find one. And it's like $40. But it tells all about Manly P. Hall and his ideas of Chinese medicine. Now, Chinese medicine has been around for thousands of years, unlike our medicine that we get from the doctor. Has been around for, not very long. And that's why it's all an experiment, people. This stuff has been around. They use herbs, natural healing, acupuncture, things they've been doing for thousands of years to heal people, healing them with their own good hands and your manifestations. They talk to the body. Ask your body what it needs. Sometimes it's just mental in your head. You have to just mentally fix yourself. And in that case, you may want to use hypnotism, or you might want to use palmistry, acupuncture, things like that could relieve your pain. Who here has a bunch of pain? Come on now, I want to see some hands here. You got some pain? You're all older folks. I know a lot of you are older folks. You got some pain in the back? Yeah, I know it. Susie Q, I'm sure you got some cricks in your back or your arms. Oh man, holding all them grandkids, and Pa Joe, or Elderberry taking care of your chickens and animals out there. Pa Joe, same thing. Oh geez, it's the way it is. You want to take care of your body. Your health is the most important thing. You cannot buy good health. It's one of those rarities. And if you can keep it, just keep what you got and make yourself better. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. Posy's in the house. Good evening, she says. Good evening. Yes. When I could do that, I do that. Look at that. Oh, pain all around the body. That's right. So what does this have to do with it? It's the physical. I've read this 10 times saying I'm going to say the right words, but every time it turns out wrong. The philosophical principles behind the Chinese concept of healing. Well, there you go. And, they've changed up my stuff here a little bit. So we got this. And then we can go to that. healing. There's healing right there. A mother and a child on a moonbeam. You know, there's nothing better than that. Kind of looks like she's breastfeeding too, doesn't it? You know, that's nurturing. You need to nurture your body. You need to take care of yourself. There's healing all over the place. Now, if you could read, what is that? Geez, it slips my tongue. You know. Anyway, we're going to get right on with this stuff. For more than 2,000 years, yes, 2,000 years, we're going to go to this picture. Yeah, we're going to go way back to them. They were back in those days, 2,000 years ago. You know, doing their thing. Scotty Boy's in the house. Oh, all right. Look at that. Scotty Boy is here. This took 5 minutes to find it. Yes, took 5 minutes. Okay, for 2,000, I'm going to read this little bit here. It's really good. For 2,000 years, the Chinese people were comparatively isolated from the outside world. They lived within the coils of a stone dragon. The Great Wall of China, with the exception of the contributions made by Buddhism, old Chinese culture was completely indigenous. Chataingier was a miniature universe, and the Chinese created everything necessary for their own survival, with a few exceptions. The rulers of China were self-centered autocrats, and foreign invaders attacked the boundaries of this country, distributing its eternal life and interfering seriously with the development of science. In spite of all this, or perhaps because of geographical and physiological isolation, China has given up to humanity a legacy of magnificent art, religious and philosophical principles admired by all mankind, and sciences which Western researchers are beginning to appreciate. Of course, how many of you have done yoga? You know, that comes from over there too. And a bunch of other things. Oh, speaking of sciences, I have something really cool to share with you. Oh, man. Oh, we're going to do this. That ain't it. Okay. We're going to get back to this in a second. I forgot all about this, everybody. I got this whole cool thing we're going to share. You know, speaking of sciences and something like that. Okay. I have something really cool going on, everyone. And I wanted to say thank you to Kaz Hawk, who did something really special for me. And I'm going to make a nice video with it. And we're going to do that. But I thought I'd treat you all a little bit tonight. And I think Amber had something to do with this too. It was Amber and Kaz. So thank you, Amber. I hope you're still here. And let's see. Oh, let's see. Anyway, okay. And Kaz, I know she's probably not watching. It's probably different time zone, but we are going to share this. This is Kaz's original work. You know, I think Amber had a little bit to do with this. I don't know exactly, but that's what it said. And I know I was on the show with Amber and Kaz, or seen him on the show and whatever. And I here we go. Let's go with this. All right. 1, 2, 3. Playing. Yeah, there it is. I can hear it. Well, there you go. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank you, Amber. There was the visuals and Kaz with the music. Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Yeah. But anyway, so good of you all. Yeah, Amber, Kaz did a great job. I'd love to have her on sometime to talk about that. How she makes her music and stuff. And Amber, thank you for that too. The visuals were great. I love the dragons and things. Both of you work together. Look, it just really, I'm gonna chop that up in pieces and put it in videos. I love it. I love that music. We could listen to that, just get in the vibe. I thought that was very appropriate, especially that one with the dragon with the horns. They look like Christmas time and little snowflakes coming out. I was like, hey, that's right on for Christmas. Nina the Mystic's in the house. Thank you, Nina, for coming. That was excellent. That was excellent. That's right. Look at that. And yes. But yeah, thank you for the Soul Tribe putting that together. It's awesome. It's really awesome. I appreciate it so much. See, it's things like that that's like the best Christmas gifts. I mean, no matter, somebody could buy me a new car, but that video means more to me than anything you could buy. And because it was done with people and it was thought and it was put together in a nice way. I guess I don't need these headset. I ain't talking to anybody. I just get so used to wearing them. but anyway, and then it goes back to we're talking about the Chinese medicine tonight. And it goes back to that because, in China, they're always talking about dragons. So it was all really cool. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to put it together in a little video, and we'll watch that another time again, in case other people have missed it. See, it was like, yes, look at that. Thank you. And again, see, we did it out of love. That's what it's all about. That's what the season's about. The solstice, the everything. We're here. We're enjoying. There's this 3 days of darkness that we're away from the sun. We are children of the sun. Without the sun, we don't stay warm. We can't grow crops. The earth doesn't work right. All of these things. And, when things are right, then we do right. We have to go out into the sun to get that vitamin D to keep our bodies healthy. It's just a fact. There's Scratch. Scratch is in the house. Thank you for coming. But it's all about that. But then again, if you go into the moonlight, does the moon heal you too? I got to wonder about that. So let's get on with this. Because Chinese medicine has been around for 2,000 years or more. These people have been doing all kinds of things. Listen to this. The Chinese healing arts include considerable skills combined with folklore, magic, and mystery. Even in recent years, the old methods are held in high esteem. Most of the European nations gradually reject the religious aspect of healing arts, attempting to cure all ailments with our recourse to older beliefs. China, however, preferred to consider medicine as a total philosophy of life. Profoundly developed since China now has. Wait a minute, I skipped the page. Impressed by Western sciences, the present communist regime of China built modern hospitals staffed by physicians educated in Europe and America, and more recently in progressive Chinese medical schools. Although communist China has socialized medicine, older patients are reluctant to deviate from ancient practices. Due to resilience, treatment is not as effective it should be. Opinion makers in the field of Chinese therapy decided that without the respect of scholars and esteemed sage, the venerated parchment and medical program would never receive the support of the general public. See, the old people know, and that's the thing too, is how should I put this? In the Western countries like ourselves, we went one way while they were going another. And now we're going their way. There's so many people who turn to yoga. And yoga is a practice of healing. And I remember, I think Amber, didn't you do yoga videos at one time? Way back in the day, you were doing yoga videos. I think that's how I ended up seeing you doing a yoga video. That's where I got, anyway. But I think you did yoga videos. But that was the whole thing there, yoga and acupuncture and all of these things. Well, we're just going to skip a few things here. It says here, Western medicine became more and more complicated, and pharmaceutical houses announced new remedies daily. How can you get a remedy for something daily? Don't you have to try it out for years and years and years to make it a remedy? Chinese physicians could not possibly carry on successful practice without the wonder drugs we enjoy today. The Chinese physician had a small group of basic remedies, most of which are probably harmless. At a point, they should not be overlooked. The formulas often descended in families. Each of these specialized in a certain remedical preparation. In addition to these conditions, herbal, mineral, and animal, the well-qualified physician considered these movements of the planets. Yes, the planets, the sun and the moon over here, and the calculation of all that, herbal, mineral, or animal. The well-qualified, they calculated eclipses and pondered the advent of comets to make you well, to do things on those days to keep you going. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway. I'm trying to read that thing. Anyway, I shouldn't pay attention to that stuff. We say of Chinese older nations that their medical practices permitted them to survive plagues, natural disasters, wars, famines in comparatively good health. According to recent propaganda, the Chinese are among the world's healthiest people at the present time. Now, how did they get to be the present happiest or the healthiest people living in one of those communist countries? Now, go figure. And since the establishment, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to share my screen. We got video, we got things to look at, because you don't want to look at my ugly mug. We're going to go back to this. But anyhow, yeah, this is much better. This describes more. You can tell a lot from a picture. Having received the blessing of the political body, researchers focus their attention upon ancient and medieval medical literature and have had die-hard courage to explore obscure methods of diagnosis and treatment. This open-mindedness is most credible if someone unorthodox is encouraging to read various publications issued at the time of the 10th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. It says here, palmistry has given consideration, along with studies in the Qin, Zheng meditation, and ergonomic or metrics. And even these uses of charms, mantrams, and spells, mantras. Mantras? Yeah. It would seem that the Chinese doctors are taking the practicing point of view that is more important for the patient to recover than for the dignity of the medical profession to be maintained. So, let's move on to some other stuff here. There's an interesting quotation from an old Chinese classic that dates back nearly 2,000 years. The true men of the early ages slept dreamlessly and were conscious of self within or without care. Get that? Conscious of self without care. This is very intriguing philosophical statement. In other words, at the time this classic was written, it was assumed that one of the rewards for being a true person was dreamless sleep. We know today that the dream is a physiological phenomenon largely involved with pressure. That is usually a symbol of tension, neurosis, or stress within the personality. The Chinese observation of dreamless sleep was very perceptive for this time, and ancient Chinese were able to contemplate their lives without fear, worry, stress, or tension. And how many of you have worry, stress, or tension? See, you do the meditation thing, and you can get rid of your worry, stress, and tension. And, they knew what was going on. Let's see here. The Chinese able to complete their lives without fear. The after aforementioned quote about dreams is tremendously vital in the field of health, revealing more insight into man's nature than is currently accepted in Western medicine. It is not, however, inconsistent with that we know to be essentially true. I get some cool pictures here for you. You got to see this one. This one's kind of cool. Like Rocket Man here, he's blasting off, or either he's getting dropped in the fire. You got the sun and the moon and people dancing around with whatever. The Chinese, in their study of anatomy and physiology, were also very largely rationalistic. Certain principles were held to be true, and the Chinese believed that if these principles were adhered to, the person would be kept healthy. To them, the human body was not merely an object for physical examination, but a wondrous organism to be contemplated and understood. Their approach to anatomy and physiology was quite different than ours, for they were ever seeking analogies to the universe, processes within the body of the man. They were more concerned with physiological precepts than with the process of rummaging through the human body in search of physical symptoms. Yeah, sometimes your physical symptoms are caused by what's in your head. Then the Chinese cosmology all began with an unknowable essence, which revealed itself through a positive aggressive principle and the negative submissive principle, yin and yang. The true yin and yang, see, it's on right here. It's on in our picture, the sun and the moon, the yin and the yang. Another interesting phrase of Chinese therapy was the role of the physician in the community life. A family engaged a role of a physician physicians in community life and family engage a doctor. Great families may have had more than one, and he received a regular compensation. He was retained much as we would employ legal counsel or a business manager. The physician attached to the family became counselor to the of the family, and it was his duty to keep the members in good health. So, like today, when we have a problem, we go talk to a psychiatrist, and then we go talk to a doctor, and then each one specialized in their own little thing. See, they just employed one guy, and he was your psychiatrist, he was your, doctor, he was your whatever. He was the all around fix it guy, wasn't he? He recognized that his responsibility, and he realized that one way to keep the family well was to keep it happy. When problems and conflicts arose, when fears and responsibilities grew heavy, the physician immediately took over in his various capacities. Because the moment illness appeared, the doctor's pay stopped. Thus, he was rewarded for keeping his patients well. Now, ain't that a good way to pay a doctor? If you're well, you pay him, and when you're sick, you quit paying. Right? That way, the doctor's got something to work towards. Gotta love these pictures. So look at that. When problems and conflicts arose, when fears and responsibility grew heavy, the physician immediately took over the various capacities. Like a Chinese mandarin, the doctor wore high boots and considered himself a man of importance in his own right. He never forgot that the healer is a servant and secretary of nature. In the West, we assume that the physician is a servant in the house of God. But in actual practice, science and knowledge, slight dependency upon divinity, knowing the families by whom he was employed, the Chinese physician was able to consider temperamental factors. The harmony of the yin and the yang principles was clearly revealed in the management of home and business. If the yang principle became excessive, the physician recognized this tendency in the treatment of any illness that his patient might develop. The masculine principle might cause the person to be overambitious, dictatorial, excessive in amenities or appetites, and unreasonably stern in relating to his family. In order to treat this individual, the yang principle must be reduced through counseling and appropriate meditation or medication. Well, often including acupuncture, until the equilibrium of the yin and the yang principles was reestablished. Although the Chinese had a variety of therapies, they learned from experience never to overtreat their patients. Well, go figure. Don't overtreat. How many of you have been to the doctor and been overtreated? Or undertreated? One or the other. They sure didn't give you acupuncture. They gave you some purple pill and said, you got high anxiety. Now take these and go home. Yes. Or you've had things happen to you. Well, exactly. Staying with the psychedelic theme, Robert. Yes. Thank you. I gotta put that one up. Look at that. Staying with the psychedelic theme. Now, who are you out there is having a drink or smoking some of them mushrooms? Do you smoke the mushrooms or do you eat the mushrooms? I don't know. I've never done those. I'm not one of those people. Anyway, yeah, we got to get some more of them psychedelic pictures, but this ain't too bad. Anyway, it's all the same. But anyway, oh, you eat them. No, yes, eat them. Yeah, okay, so you eat the mushrooms. You don't smoke the mushrooms, you eat the mushrooms. Okay, I get it. We eat the mushrooms, yes. Probably not the same as one I buy in the grocery store, that's for sure. Okay, we might say that the old Chinese system of medical was a pleasant kind of health insurance. Perhaps we would not be so heavily drugged if our physicians were to receive no no money until we recovered, not only from this disease, but from the remedy as well. It is obvious that under normal conditions, drugs are not used to keep people well. Occasionally, a spring tonic may be taken, as was the practice of old farming families in our country. The essential responsibility of the Chinese physician was to maintain orderly procedures of conduct in the families that he served, keeping the family in happy, integrated state, giving it a security of knowing that a wise and learned physician was at its disposal. The physician could be consulted at any time, but if the remedies did not succeed, he simply languished in impoverishment. Obviously, such a system could not have survived unless the doctor was skillful and successful in his practice. That's right. Keep everybody healthy and you become a rich man. They all get sick, you don't get paid. I like that philosophy. Chinese physician always worked under certain handicap. For instance, it was considered improper for Chinese lady to be a physician or physically examined by her physician. Ivory figures of the human body thus became an essential part of medical equipment. When asked to describe their symptoms, gentlewomen indicated their area of discomfort on the doll. A somewhat similar practice existed in Europe, where absent-minded physicians carried mannequins with movable members and organs to facilitate a diagnosis. No worries about touching the wrong parts of those women. Can't get in trouble for that. Okay, let's return to the problem of Chinese medical philosophy. In China, all philosophies, arts, and scientists stem from an ancient pattern of belief, which reveals itself every phase of life of the people. This pattern is concerned with operations intermingled of immutable laws in space. Our title, Medicine of the Sun and the Moon, summarizes the archetypal concept behind Chinese therapy. The medicine of the sun and the moon immediately brings to mind that European alchemist whose mysterious chemicals philosophy of the sun and moon have been preserved in many ancient manuscripts. Early printed texts to the European alchemists, the sun and the moon medicine was the elixir of life. Chinese chemical and alchemical thinking, as well as Chinese pharmacopoeia, was largely dominated by the sun and the moon formula. The formula continually reoccurred under one geist or another until it reaches fullest expression in the concept of the sun and the moon and man. Alchemy seems to have arisen in China in the early centuries of the Chinese era, and it is interesting to note that the first Western alchemists to be specifically mentioned were their contemporaries. Taoism, the most eccentric of Chinese indigenous philosophers. How come when I say those words, it comes out better in my head than it does in in my words. Maybe my tongue don't work the same as my head does. But anyway, passed through three historic phases, of which the first was essentially etherical, the second magical, and the third theological. It was during dye magic period, first to the 7th centuries, that speculation concerning the indefinite extension of human life was most fascinating Chinese scholars. See, even the Chinese knew that they had to live longer. Okay. They developed the fluoride symbolism derived principally from ancient cosmological speculation, combined with myths and local legends. Like their European conferees, they concealed the practical aspects of their researchers under elaborate pictorial designs. The conjunction of lead and mercury, a basic concept in Chinese alchemy, was explained by the struggle between the dragon and the tiger. The paralysis with Western alchemical terminology was obvious. The phoenix is a pictorial glyph for the violet principle, and tortoise for the prima marta. The crow, the rabbit, and the sun, the moon, respectively, and the unicorn for universal spirit, which man is attempting to capture in dye net of his consciousness. So there you go. What are they talking about? So this is a book we're reading from right here. Chinese alchemists made generous use of religious concepts, and these also abundant in the writings of European masters. Wherever alchemy has been regarded as a vivid art, it gained authority through its mystical implications. The Taoist peach of immortality is certainly the philosopher's stone of the Hermetic adepts. In the course of their experiments, these alchemists also made several important contributions to human comfort and pleasure. One gold maker was responsible for the perfection of Dresden porcelain, and another discovered illuminating gas. In China, the emphasis was upon medications for both the soul and the body, for man has always dreamed of extending his mortal life beyond its normal expectancy. Taoist magicians healed the sick, practiced hypnotism and mesmerism, and were quickly to recognize the power of suggestion. They brought together the pattern of theories and practices which for many centuries guided the deities of the Chinese people. The advent of Buddhism brought with a number of medical missionaries. The doctor taught the merit could be gained by serving the poor and the sick and the aged. Many temples had their clinics, and these also protected the treated suffering animals. There is a manuscript on veterinary medicine in which Buddhas and Buddha bodhivas are shown floating in the air, blessing the labors of the doctor who is caring for his sick horses. Indirectly, the treating of animals probably contributed to the discovery of curative agents which could be applied to human beings. Well, of course. If you become a vet, you can heal a person just as good as a horse. All righty. Okay. The Chinese philosophy of health rests upon the simple concepts that there are is a universal harmony which can be found everywhere and is everything. This is really important, people. You got to listen to this. The Chinese philosophy of health rests upon a simple concept that there is a universal harmony which can be found everywhere and in everything. Man, by his indiscretions, deprives himself of the natural benefits which heaven bestows. The individual who breaks the rules does not destroy rhythms of infinite life, but inhibits the supply of vitality moving through his own body, thereby deriving himself of his proper share of his universal energy. All living things live upon the mysterious energy of Tao. It is more than food and water. It is even more than the air we breathe. All living things participate in this universal life principle, which thus orderly and proper rules and manifestations. The adjustment of the person with the universal pattern is health. The loss of adjustment is sickness. So there you go. This, to the Chinese health, is natural or normal state of all living things. To become sick, man must destroy his own health, and this can be done either individually or collectively. Sickness is a symptom of ignorance, neglect, or the disturbance of natural processes by intemperaments. To the Chinese mind, therefore, the moderation of action is considered the best defense against sickness. The individual who is uncertain should adjust his own life to natural patterns. Try not to disturb the universal process. Let's see. His concept of health should not be a victory over sickness, but rather a victory over his own shortcomings. The person who follows nature in all things is a healthy person. Well, I'm going to stop right there because we're getting into our hour. And we got, just more stuff. See, look at that. Look at it. Here's the health, the DNA. Look at the serpents going up the stick. Green medicine, the moon and the sun. Look at that. There you go, Scotty boy. More of those psychedelic pictures. And we're going to end right there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Just tells you that if you're in balance, the yin and the yang, they've been studying this stuff for hundreds of years, thousands of years. It's just hard to imagine that they haven't thought of almost everything. The question is, if you keep your body in balance, and you know that when you're sick because your body's out of balance, well, then you can catch it right away, because it's just like when a bucket fills up. You fill up that bucket when it's almost full. If you don't start emptying it, well, then it overflows, and then you lose some of that. It's like it gets a hole in the bucket or something, What you want to do is you want to keep that bucket half full and then fill your other half of the bucket in another bucket. Then you got one full bucket, but you're carrying it between two buckets, and then you balance out. Isn't that right? Well, it's a good philosophy. Boy, I'm sure glad I came and did a show tonight. I was really thinking about maybe doing something else, and I was kind of on the hee-haw. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I or should I not? And I'm really happy I did. Well, good night, Susie Q. Merry Christmas and Yuletide to you too. We got one more night of Darkness 30, and I will be back live with a real live show tomorrow night to enjoy with all of you. Nina, thank you. Thank you. It was great to be on with you the other night. It was. I just want to shout out to you. Thank you to Amber and Kaz for that great video that they sent me. Means a lot. Don't forget to hit the like button, and we will be back for more of the sun and the moon tomorrow night. Don't forget, and remember, 'tis the season for this guy here. Oh, yeah. Gotta love that too. That's my little inside joke, everyone. Thank you for all of you being here. I appreciate you more than you know. Remember, we're going to have a great show on Saturday. I'm going to give a lot of stuff away. A lot of stuff. All for you people. So remember, come on. We're going to put names on a hat. All you got to do is be in the chat room. Raise your hand, something. We'll figure it out, and send me your email address, and and then we will pick names out of a hat, and bam, you'll be getting in the mail. I'm going to wrap them up tomorrow. We'll do a bunch of wrapping. Okay, with that, I'm going to let you go. Go catch Scotty Roberts or somebody else who's live right now, or just lay back and rest. It's too cold to do anything else. Tomorrow, I'm making me some hot chocolate. Enjoying the day by sitting around relaxing and doing little next to nothing. So take it easy. While it's so cold, don't stress out. I don't want to hear about somebody shoveling snow so much they dropped over and we lose you. Okay, thank you all for coming again. Remember, go out, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all, everyone. Peace, everybody.